What's going on, YouTube? This is going to be a fun video. We're diving into the PC here, and we're going to take a look at values, see how much it's grown, and see what I got. Let's dive right in. So I like to have different themes in my personal collection, and this first little theme here is what I call the interesting cover theme. So these are interesting or controversial covers. And first off here we have Superman's girlfriend, Lois Lane, number 106, CGC 8.0 white pages. So this is the cover where Lois steps into the body mold and becomes a black woman for a day. Total cultural appropriation, which is why it's an interesting cover. And the story was super interesting as well. Like right in the beginning, one of the first things that she says as a black woman is, would Superman still want to marry me if I was a black woman? And then she goes into Harlem and as like an investigative journalist and tries to figure out what it truly means to be black. So anyways, a super interesting cover, super interesting story, and definitely controversial cover. All right, so the next controversial cover is actually off at Hero Restoration Comics. I sent a bunch of my comics over there to see if they could, if there were potential candidates to be cracked and pressed and cleaned and then graded for possibly higher grade. So the reason I went with Hero Restoration Comics is because they do a pre-screen for $2. So for $2 you can send them your slabs and they'll look at it and tell you whether or not it's a good candidate for a crack and press or not. So I thought that was super worth it. I sent a bunch of books to them, and it's World's Finest number 14. And if you look at this one, it's just a super controversial cover. It's got Batman, Superman, and Robin, and there's a bunch of underage boys skinny dipping. And Robin looks a little too excited about it. Anyways, super controversial, super funny. I don't know if it was super innocent, if this was a totally innocent cover, or if there's like some kind of inside joke with the artist or something like this. But anyways, this one is 5.5 white pages, which is rare to find white pages for a book this age. And that book I bought for $4.50, and it's probably worth around the same. There's one listed online that's a 6.0 for $1,200, but it's just a listing. It's really hard to find sales of this because there's only like, I think like 15 or 20 copies on the census. That reminds me, the price on the Superman's girlfriend Lois Lane 106, I paid $175. A recent sale on eBay, 8.5 sold for $600, and so I think it's worth about $500. All of a sudden, it just went way up in price. So that one's cool. So the next controversial cover or interesting cover is Wonder Woman number 178, and this is where Wonder Woman gets a new outfit and they strip away her powers. Okay, so that's why this one's controversial, is they thought, oh, let's give Wonder Woman all of this makeup and this fancy hairdo and like a housewife outfit, and then they made her a hairdresser and they stripped away her powers. And it backfired. It totally flopped. The story totally flopped. And it was only a couple issues later that they gave her back her old outfit and gave her powers back. Fans were not too happy. All right, so next we have, and this is the black suit theme. So this theme is the black suit theme of the PC. We've got Amazing Spider-Man 252. Oh, but before I get into that, the price on Wonder Woman 178, I paid 175, and right now there's listings for about 300. It's really hard to find values on this one as well. It's not a super popular book, but I'd say it's probably worth about $250. So next we have Amazing Spider-Man 252. This is the Newsstand edition down here. CGC 9.8 white pages. This ties with Marvel Team Up 141 for the first appearance of the black costume, and it's Amazing Fantasy 15 cover homage, classic cover. This one has skyrocketed in price lately. Let's see, I paid $375, and the most recent eBay sale was $885 for a newsstand. Now, what's interesting about this is this newsstand sells for significantly more than the direct edition for this issue, for ASM 252. All right, and I'll tell you why that's interesting. Is over here, the next one was we have Marvel Team Up number 141, and this is, you know, the one that they mentioned in 252. It ties for the first appearance of the black costume. This is also the newsstand edition. Now, this one actually hit stands 2 weeks before 252. So, like, technically, if you want to get really technical about it, this one hit stands first. But in the indica in the book, they both say the same date. So that's why it says ties, and CGC goes by what's in the indica of the book. What's interesting about this is the direct edition and the newsstand edition for Marvel Team Up 141, there's no significant difference in price. Sometimes you can get the newsstand edition for less than the direct edition. And what's interesting about that is that they came out the exact same years. And what's really interesting is that the newsstand and the direct editions of this copy are about the same. Like, you can find them there's about the same number of newsstands as there are direct. With the newsstand of this one, which came out the same within 2 weeks, the newsstand edition is way harder to find. So I just don't understand that about the distribution of those books. For some reason, they're about the same. There might be more to that story. I'll try to get to the bottom of it. I'm definitely going to do a more in-depth analysis of newsstand editions, because I'm crazy about newsstands. I love newsstands. I love the nuance it brings to the hobby. So here's a little shout out to Beauty Comics for this next one. If you guys haven't checked out Beauty Comics, I'm going to put a link in the description to his channel. He is hilarious. He has an awesome channel and some amazing books, but he always busts out his really cool books and he goes, like that. So anyways, we've got Marvel Superheroes Secret Wars number 8, newsstand edition, signature series ×2. This is signed by John Beatty and Michael Zeck, which is really common for this book. For some reason, John Beatty and Michael Zeck, they must have done signature series around the same time, because when you get a signature series of this book, it's common to have both of them, and sometimes even a sketch. I paid $500, and a recent sale for a newsstand edition was $900, and it wasn't a signature series. So I would say that this is about $1,000. I paid $500, so it's like doubled in recent months. I mean, I bought that. I bought to the 252 and the Secret Wars number 8 both in March or April, and so here we are 5 months later, and they've both doubled in value basically. All right, next we've got Redneck number 1. This is the gold foil edition. Donny Cates. Love this cover. This cover is just so sick. I paid $100 for it. It's worth about $135 or so now. This one here is Amazing Spiderman number 212. This is the newsstand edition. This is the first appearance of Hydro Man. And what's interesting about this one as well is this is a newsstand. It's from 1981. It's definitely harder to find the newsstand than the direct. I mean, it's probably like $120 on eBay or newsstands, and you can pick up this one newsstand sometimes for less than the direct. That's what happened to me on this. I got it for $180, and now it's worth about it's worth about $300 for the direct edition, but there is no real difference in sales for newsstand and direct on that. Trying to find some rhyme and reason to it. Obviously, with the newsstands, if it's a super popular book, it's more it's more desirable to have the newsstand. Obviously, if it's more rare, it's more desirable to have the newsstand. But sometimes it seems like even those things don't affect it. So it's really strange. Next, we have Incredible Hulk number 271, 9.8, white pages, newsstand edition, of course. And this is the first comic book appearance of Rocket Raccoon. Rocket Raccoon's first official appearance was in a magazine form. I believe it was Marvel Previews of some sort. I'll put that up here. But this is his first comic book appearance, which to me is cooler than the magazine. I paid about $600, and now it's worth about $825. All right, so up next we have Detective Comics number 27. This is the Oreo Cookies reprint, 9.8. This has off-white to white pages, and I'm super picky about stuff like that. I didn't realize that when I bought it, that it was off-white to white. When you're talking about your PC, it's like, I don't know, it's important to me, so I wanted to have white pages, so I don't know what I'm going to do with this. We'll have to see what I'm going to do with that. I got it for $135 on Comic Link. Somebody had a ton of listings on Comic Link with these. I mean, like each month with the auction, they'd have like 10 copies. So you can probably go find a bunch on Comic Link right now, and they're selling pretty cheap. All right, so next I have Invincible Iron Man number 9. This is the cover B variant, CGC 9.6, and it's the Horseman of the Apocalypse variant cover. This is the first full appearance of Riri Williams, Ironheart. And this one has a super interesting story. I'll put a link up here to my variant video where it talks about why this is a significant book, because it's supposed to be an Order All You Want cover B variant, but this variant is worth significantly more than the cover A. But it's not an incentive, but it is more rare. Check out that video for more details on that. So for that one, I paid $450. I got it for $450 recently, like last week, and now the most recent sale was $750 this week. It just shot up over the last couple weeks, and that's just the most recent sale. The lowest 9.6 listing is $1,000. Like, you can't find this for listed for less than $1,000 right now. So if you get anywhere near $500 on that for 9.6, jump on it. The 9.8s are up around $3,000. And so anyways, I'm going to look into this and see if it's a crack and press candidate, see if I can get a 9.8. I don't know. It looks really clean. There's no color breaking ticks or anything, so I'm not sure on that one. All right, up next we have Deadpool Merc with a Mouth number 7. And this is CGC 9.8, white pages. I would really love to find this in a newsstand. This is the wraparound cover. It's the first appearance of Lady Deadpool, the Deadpool Kid, and Major Deadpool. It's a Headpool appearance, and it's a Train Spotting cover homage. I would really love to find this in a newsstand. If anybody has this in a newsstand, Deadpool Merc with Mouth number 7, hit me up. I'll buy it from you. Alright guys, so I'm going to have to break this into 2 videos because we still have this much of a stack left and we've already gone quite a ways in. So if you want to see the rest of my PC, you're going to have to go check out the part 2. Peace.